What's up, Bongoglians? Welcome to the Bingo Bongo podcast. I'm Bingo.
And I'm Bongo.
And today we're talking about some very exciting things, starting with at-home colonoscopies. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary people. We saw your request in the comments.
Oh, you gotta talk about that.
We gotta talk. We're gonna do, John, take the lead.
So, before we start the at-home colonoscopies, I love how I put a poll out.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, we need to settle something. Bingo or bongo? It got 0 responses.
Yeah. Did it really get 0?
It got 0 responses. Damn. So it looks like it has not been settled. The bingo or bongo...
We'll call it a tie.
We'll call it a tie. Is there? I'm so giggly right now.
Why? Oh,
No reason.
I ran in the house to get my CD, and I was like trying to not waste time. So I like scraped my whole arm against the door, and now my arm just really hurts right here because I have like a scrape. Thank you so much. Producer Carter just brought me some bullshit. You want a treat? You want a treat?
A little doggy treat?
You want a treat?
Oh, she just flicked us off.
I got chips in my bag. You want a treat?
No thanks.
Okay.
Let's get back on track now.
See, the thing with this episode is that we've been like so excited to make this episode 3.
We've been so excited.
So excited.
But we've been talking about.
Yes, but there's no planning.
We have no plans.
I have 0.
We have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, I have 0 documents made for this podcast.
This many.
No.
Yeah.
So this one's gonna be off the cuff. Like this.
Boom. Did you see this? Right there.
Okay. All right. So the first topic is at-home colonoscopies. What is your opinion on at-home colonoscopies?
I oppose them.
You oppose them?
I oppose them.
Why?
Last year, when the voting thing happened, everybody, orange man, brown woman, I don't give a fuck. The only thing I voted on was whether or not at-home colonoscopies should be legal. I voted no. I think it's anti-American. I think it's anti-political. I think it's, I don't know, gay.
Wait, but why is it wrong?
You should, another man's, nah, I'm not doing that.
Thou shalt not have another man.
I'm not doing all that. If you want to get your colonoscopy at your home, I don't fucking.
Yeah, I feel like there's at-home kits. There's, what is it called? What's that one thing where they shove the water up your ass?
An enema?
They have, not douche, that's different.
An enema.
They have at-home enema kits.
That makes sense.
But
can you colonoscopize yourself?
You just shove a camera.
You can have that one for free.
Colonoscopize?
Yeah.
I think you can. You have to shove a camera up your own ass. You probably wouldn't.
Do colonoscopies have to have the camera?
That's the point. I think you can just shove a finger
Siri.
and feel it. Hey Google, show me this guy's colonoscopy.
No, it's supposed to have a camera, because that way you can like see what's going on.
You hear this crinkling? We'll make that really loud.
It's already really loud. This is crazy. All right, so this is the end of the. That's humongous waveform. I will say this: it's the end of the day, and
it's late.
It's been a crazy day.
It's 10 p.m.
I woke up happy, expecting all the good things.
How's your day, John? Tell us about your day.
It's been a roller coaster of a day. I dropped.
Speaking of drop.
Get a load of this, dumbass.
I dropped my girlfriend off at work, and then essentially I was like,
I dropped my pants.
Interesting.
Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
It's fine. I dropped my girlfriend off at work, and I was expecting a big package to come in today. And then the person texted me saying, hey, guess what? This thing is not showing up today. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday. Today's Tuesday, by the way. Or Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. And I was like, well, whatever. I guess that's fine. And then I just, I had to do shit, and I was frustrated, and I was just, ugh. And then the guy texted me like, hey, guess what? Your package is here. You can come grab it. And I was like, well, fuck, I guess I'll get it. And I was putting that all together, but it was all stressful. I'm nervous about everything because it's an expensive thing. And
you don't want to tell them what it was?
I guess.
What? It's exciting.
It's an exciting thing.
John's a movie guy.
Yeah, I bought a new 4K projector. It's an Epson projector. Very, very, very nice, high-end.
Epson 5050 UB.
Yes, 5050 UB, ultra black.
It's a very nice projector.
Yeah, we just tried it out. We watched a few clips from movies. It's amazing. It's a huge, bulky projector, though.
I'm looking at it right now.
It's humongous.
It's bigger than my dick.
Yeah, which is,
And my balls.
Oh, might not be that
Bigger
big.
than my ass.
Actually,
It's probably bigger than my ass, bro. It's huge.
huge.
Hey, let's get the ass cam. Let's check this.
You want to? Wait a minute.
Nah, there's
Not
no
yet, not
ass
yet.
cam.
Wait. What's
Nah.
that? Not yet.
Nah.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, I'm feeling better now. Today's just been a roller coaster. I gotta work like 15 hours at tomorrow.
You work 15 hours tomorrow?
8 a.m. to 10 p.m. I don't know how long that is. 14?
That's 14.
Yeah.
Those are even numbers, John.
That's crazy.
Hey, you want some?
I'll take one.
You want
You want one?
one? Why is he going there? Go on, there's like 5 left. Eat one at a
I
time.
love how we just don't give a shit anymore. It's episode 3.
We never cared.
We never cared.
You can't have any more.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You can have one more. You can have one more.
I'm good. It's sour. Anyways, what do you want to talk about? Fuck it. You take the lead.
Tell me about your day, bro.
That's it. I'm done.
I went to work today.
Let's talk about Ashton.
And then, I came down here. We went to Walmart to get this new tripod that we're using.
It's a nice tripod.
Because I always told John, we should have like different angles. So we can go like this, we can go like that. We can have the different angles. So we got the new tripod over here. Oh, did I tell you where I put the other tripod?
No, what?
Up there.
What? What the fuck?
So we got multiple angles now. So every once in a while we'll do the regular cam, we'll do the back of the forehead, the bald spot cam. We'll do the bald spot
Can you
cam.
put your pants back on now?
No, I'm not putting my pants on. It's hot as hell in here.
Oh my god, this is such a
I'll take my socks off though.
Just one sock.
The sock reveal. The sock
For
reveal.
free? Through the
Ashton feet reveal. Hey, hold on. Let's get the feet cam up in here. Hey, foot cam. Hey, foot cam. Show me these guys' feet. We're gonna have to like censor my balls, bro. This is bad.
I can't.
So we watched Donnie Darko the other day.
We're not ready for the Donnie Darko. I'm sorry. I know we have to still have an intro. This is the
intro.
We can't go.
We did
right
the
into
at-home
Donnie Darko.
colonoscopies. We did the Walmart.
You
We
didn't
did
have
my balls.
You didn't have my opinion of the colonoscopies.
All right, let's hear your
I'm
fucking
pro
opinion.
colonoscopy.
You're at-home pro.
Yeah. If a man wants to shove another man's finger up another man's ass at home, he should do it.
It's not shoving. There's no shoving.
He checks the prostate.
It's real gentle. Like it's like.
We have to censor all of that.
Why?
That's not allowed on YouTube.
Can I have some more candy?
Sure, man.
It's my candy.
Hard crack. This is a bad episode. We might need to restart the whole episode.
That's good so far. Can I dip that? Can I dip that?
Stop. That's too much.
Those are awful noises, by the way.
This is an awful episode, by the way.
Oh my god. Ew.
This is unwatchable.
I don't give a fuck. I got 9 likes on my how to make a mixtape. I got this many likes, bitches. I don't give a fuck. I'm a successful person now. I'm a big time boy.
He's lost his mind.
I've lost my mind. I don't care anymore. I don't need pants. I don't need to make a good video. I got 9 likes. John, how many likes did you get on your biggest liked video? 5?
7.
7? Pussy ass, dick ass, bitch ass shit. I don't give a fuck about any of
I
that.
can out you right now, bro.
You can out me?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I can say 3 of them.
Dude, I've liked all of your videos, and you've also liked all of your videos twice.
Yeah, 3 of those likes are us.
Yeah, on both of them. So that doesn't mean anything. There's 6 people out there who liked my video, bro. Did you like my video? Go like it right now. It's about to be 10, okay? I'm hitting double digits on the how to make a cassette mixtape tutorial.
You've gone over your head.
I've gone over my head. I don't care. Look,
You've
listen.
lost your mind to fame.
Oh yeah, I don't give a fuck anymore. Like,
You should do that into the microphone.
I'm gonna crack my back real quick. Oh. Check it out. I don't give a fuck. I'm a millionaire now. I got. Did you like it yet? Hold on. Did you like it yet? Go.
This is unhinged.
Go. I got. Hold on, I got.
How do I smell?
You're gonna want to wait for this. It's thoroughchurro 12 1
How do
2.
I smell thorough? Hold on.
You're not subscribed to me?
I am.
Then hit the
I
subscription.
also got John 3 more subscribers. That's right.
Oh my god.
John was like, Ashton, everybody's joining because of you. I was like, I don't think so, bro. What did you say? You said some
Half
crazy
the-
shit.
half-
My side, it says 9.
When you-
With me liking it.
Someone unliked. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Wait, what? Oh my god.
That's not good.
My success just went down the drain.
What does that mean?
I'm gonna go put some pants on.
You don't deserve the pants. This is so not good. Oh my god. I don't fucking
My
care.
watch broke the other day. Look at this. Look at this. My fucking watch broke. Can you believe that shit right there? John's dad told me to go. He told me to go to Walmart to buy a new watch band, and then all the watch bands there were crappy. So, I guess I'll see if I can fix it myself.
Also, this is actually a funny story. We get to the.
Oh
we're,
yeah.
We're in the
That's a good
checkout.
story.
Ashton's like, "Fuck it. I don't need the. I'll wait for Ashton to get back here."
Tell the story.
God.
You burped above the camera or above the microphone. You have to go right into it.
Do it again.
Nice. So we're at the checkout. Ashton's looking at the watch band. He goes, "I don't need it. I don't need it." He fucking throws it really fast,
I tried to set it down on the counter on the rack.
and it like falls in between the racks, and it goes into like this like crevice. And I'm like, Ashton,
Never to be seen again.
I'm like, Ashton, you just threw it into the void. And I'm pretty sure in like 10 years from now they'll find it.
They'll be like, "Who? How did what it was?" Man, remember when watch bands were only $12? Yeah,
Yeah,
now
now it's
they're your
64.
leg.
Now it's a third. What the fuck?
Oh my god, Kwongus.
All right, so this is another story.
We watched.
Put your stomach away.
I got my balls went away. I got the fat ass. I got the beer belly cam now. What's up, guys? How you doing today? Did you eat your breakfast? Did you drink your milk? Did you call your mother? Did you do your taxes?
Did you do your colonoscopy?
Did you do your mother? Did you do home colonoscopy? Put your pants on.
All right, I need my phone now.
He wants his phone. We're not gonna stop. Just tell this Thunderbolt story.
With Thunderbolts. Oh.
Story.
Okay, so
It's up.
it's actually Doomsday. It's a Doomsday story. So we're talking about.
Hey guys.
Be careful, please. We're talking about the Avengers Doomsday. And he was talking about how the guy was supposed to be Kang or Kang.
Gang.
And
Just tell the story. Keep telling the story.
I was like, we were just making jokes about it, and we were like, Quangus. It should be Quangus.
The Destroyer opens his third leg.
Yeah, we were like, and it's like, as the Avengers, they're like, we're gonna need Quangus. We need to attack his third leg. We're gonna attack the third leg. Oh, this is how we can do it. We can have a Carter cam.
Carter cam.
Yeah.
You want a Carter cam?
The Carter cam.
She would just be on her phone the whole time. Do you
Yeah.
want the Carter cam?
She won't be doing anything the whole.
I actually need my phone for notes.
Let's just do Carter cam for a few minutes.
Is it still recording?
Yeah, it's so recording.
This is really.
We're gonna get. It's gonna cut back to this.
This is like the experiment. This is the experimental episode. Fuck it.
Carter cam. Let me zoom in more.
I'm just ahead.
Yeah, I'm zooming in more. There you go. Carter cam. We got the Carter cam.
All right.
So, this Avengers 5. We're talking about Avengers 5.
Doomsday. It was supposed to be like how they fight Quangus in his third leg. We got Doctor Doom. Now we gotta fight Quangus. in his third leg.
Oh my god. We were talking about how the Spider-Man movie, the next Spider-Man movie, takes place between Avengers 5 and 6. So I was like, John, what does Spider-Man do? Like, because 5 is gonna end with like, oh no, like Quangus is eating the world, and then Spider-Man is just like, my girlfriend and my rental properties, and it's like we gotta wait for Spider-Man to get here so he can attack Quangus's third leg. This is my third leg.
This is really fucking stupid.
This is gonna be a good episode.
This is gonna be a bad.
I cut my toe open on Carter's little shit stool. Yeah, that's right. Her squatty potty.
Oh, my leg itches. Should I take my underwear off?
Yeah, take your underwear off, John.
Keep the pants on.
Are still on.
It's gone. Oh, yo.
Carter cam.
Watch out, your records.
I can see them, bro.
All right. I think we talked.
Let's get down to business.
I think we've talked enough. Let's get to the.
I'm hungry.
Excuse me.
You snack for me?
What?
Hungry.
What do you want?
I didn't eat dinner.
Yeah, we didn't have dinner.
Oh, can we get Caesar salad?
In the middle of the podcast?
I'll come back to it.
Oh, fuck.
Yo, I don't got my phone.
I need to have my phone now if we're going to talk about Donnie Darko.
You want to talk about Donnie Darko? We watched this great movie.
Yeah, give me my phone. Carter Cam's gone.
Carter, say bye.
Bye.
This is
Thanks
wild.
for having me.
This is awful. I got 20 good minutes. I gotta watch this.
We got 20 minutes.
Yeah, let's just watch this in the middle of the podcast.
We're not watching it. No, keep going.
Okay. So, all right. I guess it's time to move on from the intro.
We're good. Let's talk about Donnie Darko.
Dude, put your shirt back on.
Donnie Darko is my favorite movie.
So I recommended in the last episode Donnie Darko because I knew Ashton fucking loved Donnie Darko, and I was like, I need to know my thoughts on it because I haven't seen it in like over 10 years. Like I saw it as like a 13-year-old, so that was 10 years ago.
John's age confirmed.
Yeah, 20. I'm
7.
Who gives a shit? Yeah, I'm 7. I'm 7 years old. So I was like, you know what? We're all, and so Ashton stayed over like the last like 5 nights.
That reminds me, at Freddy's, I went over to John's house on Tuesday to record episode 2.
He hasn't left.
And I didn't leave until Saturday. And I came back on Sunday. I'm still here. It's Wednesday.
Yeah, there was a point where I was like, all right, I guess Ashton's gone. And then he's just like hiding in the crevice of my room. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I snuck back in.
He was like back.
I came in to hang out with Carter, producer Carter, and hung out with her for a little bit. And I laid down on the floor by the foot of her bed and went to sleep.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we all watched Donnie Darko together. The first time I watched it, I'm gonna be so real with you, I was falling asleep.
Yeah.
So
he was
but
just
I watched
tired.
it.
He has a cocaine dependency.
Yeah.
Caffeine. He has a caffeine dependency.
Yeah, I have an energy drink dependency, and it's fucking my system up. Anyways,
I thought you were gonna say. Never mind.
what, cocaine?
No, I'm not. Just go.
Crack?
Just go, bro.
Meth?
I think I say it's fucking my sister.
It's fucking my sister. That's really funny.
It's not really funny.
Anyways,
I'm really glad I got to talk to your sister today
yeah,
and her kids. It was really cool.
yeah.
We hung out.
You
and
showed the
caught
kids
up.
the yo-yo and all that.
I did, and your niece was getting really good at yoing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. It was
I was
fun.
setting up the projector, so I didn't really,
I picked up Oakley because he was acting like he was dead. So I picked him up and did a raspberry.
You were
on
doing
him.
that? I heard someone doing
Did
raspberries.
a raspberry on him.
You were doing the
Woke him
raspberry?
up, yeah.
That's funny. Anyways, back to Donnie Darko.
Yeah, serious, really serious.
Yeah,
Indeed.
serious drama, family.
He's got his notes on his phone.
Yes. I'm going to go to my notes. Even though I fell asleep the first time watching it, I rewatched pretty much the majority of it. And I essentially have I have a very good understanding on how I feel about the film. But because it's your favorite film, I want you to describe it first. Like, kind of talk about the story, how you feel about it, and just go from there.
I'm gonna go full spoilers mode on Donnie Darko.
Yes, this is complete spoiler mode. Watch the movie.
You haven't seen Donnie Darko yet. Here's the basic premise. Okay, Donnie Darko is this young kid. He's like 18 probably in high school.
Yeah.
And he's like kind of mentally ill. He's like sleepwalking and stuff. One night he's laying in his bed and a voice tells him to get out of his bed. He gets out of his bed, goes out to the front of his house, and there's this guy in a bunny rabbit suit talking to him. And he tells them 28 days, 12 hours, 6 minutes, and 42 seconds. That's when the world will end. And he tells them to do a couple things, and then Donnie like falls asleep. And then a big jet engine like falls into Donnie's room.
Mm-hmm.
Like an airplane engine falls into Donnie's room and freaks out the whole family. So, anyways, the plot of the movie is Donnie is doing all these things that this like rabbit is telling him to do, and he's dealing with friends and like this girl he's interested in, Gretchen, and the rabbit makes him like flood the school and like set fire to this guy's house, and it's like because he floods the school, he meets this girl Gretchen, starts going out there. Because he floods and because he sets fire to this guy's house, the firefighters find out that guy was like a child predator.
Yeah.
And or like a pervert, I'll say.
Yeah, They found child bad things in there.
They found bad things in there.
Yeah.
And anyway, so he does all these things, and anyway, it gets all the way to the end of the movie, and Donnie's starting to understand like these physics things and space time travel things, and he's getting like, I'll go into depth on the powers later.
Yeah.
because there's powers, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And John didn't get this. The movie finished, and I was talking about things, and John was like, that doesn't make sense. And I was like, oh, you don't know? Donnie has powers.
It made sense in my brain, but it was like, but when you were talking about it, it definitely was like, okay, this is a theory for sure.
Donnie has powers.
Anyways,
Theory. At the end of the movie, Donnie goes to talk to the science to this old lady, and Gretchen. And anyways, Gretchen ends up getting run over, and the guy that gets out of the car is the Frank, the bunny rabbit man.
Mm-hmm.
Donnie kills him, and Gretchen is dead. Donnie kills him, and he picks up Gretchen, and he takes her all the way to the mountaintop where the movie starts. And you're looking up at this portal that's swarming over the house, because there were portals earlier, and this is gonna be hard to explain.
I mean, you're explaining the movie.
And he takes, and the jet engine falls through the portal, basically.
Yeah.
And goes all the way back in time to the beginning of the movie. Except this time, Donnie doesn't get out of bed. He just lays there in bed, laughing, and the jet engine falls on him, and he dies. And then you see some of the other characters that night, what they're doing that night, and some of them are crying, and some of them are just lying there thinking. And it's like insinuated that they're thinking about, like they had a dream about the whole movie. They had a dream about what happened, and like that's what's insinuated. At least that's what I think is insinuated. And anyways, then Gretchen Ross just kind of happens to come by. She doesn't know Donnie because it's back in time, right?
Yeah.
And sees all this happening, and she's like, "What's going on over there?" Like this kid tells her, like, "Oh yeah, this boy got smushed," is what he said. Anyways, the point is, Donnie dies so that Gretchen can live.
Yeah, this is a very surface level and
Incredibly surface level,
just the plot points. But
bare bones.
I definitely feel like this film does a good job presenting its concepts in a very interesting way. It sprinkles little things here and there, right? Like the idea of time travel, right? Like the whole idea of Donnie like being interested with his professor about time travel. He talked about wormholes and Einstein and all that. Not Einstein, Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, Einstein-Rosen-bridge is what you were trying to say.
Sure.
The Einstein-Rosen-bridge is like a theory of a wormhole that would connect two separate points in time by bending the fabric of space-time.
Yeah.
And they use that phrase in the movie, Einstein-Rosen-bridge.
Yeah.
But that was a theory concocted, I think, by Stephen Hawking.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
So, yeah, there's like hints of stuff like that in this film, but it's a very, not confusing, but a very like...
There's a lot going on in this movie.
Yeah.
It's one of the movies that you watch the one time and you're kind of just like, whoa. And the second time you're like, huh.
Yeah, you get more
and
out
then
of
like
it.
the third and fourth time you're like, you become enlightened.
Yeah.
I've watched this movie now probably 10 something times, and I'm still catching details I didn't notice before.
Yeah,
and
I've seen it probably 3. Kind of the first time I watched it a long time ago. Second time was with you. Third time was kind of like this morning.
Today. You really get a lot more every time you watch it.
Yeah.
There are themes that I noticed this time that I hadn't noticed before. For example, in this one scene, there's this high school talent show that they're doing, and one of the side characters, Sharita, who is this young transfer student who is Chinese, is doing like an interpretive dance thing on the stage. It's really kind of weird interpretive dance thing, and you kind of see the reactions of different people in the audience when this happens. And what I told John, like partway through the movie, was like, John, by the way, every scene in this movie is completely intentional. There's no waste of time. The director doesn't fuck around. Like every single scene in the movie fills a certain purpose. And you can see that even a scene like this, where you're just like, what is this interpretive dance about? You know, what is this about? Just the director or whatever, whoever. The creatives behind the movie are trying to make a point here. You're looking at the reactions of the different people, right? So you see the reactions of, what's the actress's name? Drew Barrymore. You see the reactions of Drew Barrymore's character. She's like this English teacher. She's more of a liberal character. She has interesting views on certain things. She's got really unique views on things, more liberal views. So you see her look when she's watching Sharita do this interpretive dance on stage. You can tell that she's like, she approves of this, and she claps a lot when Sharita finishes. But most of the audience doesn't clap that much. They're like, oh yeah, good job. I don't really care.
Yeah.
And there's also the judge woman who's kind of like, yeah, okay, I'm being polite, but whatever. But Drew Barrymore's character is like very genuinely applauding this. And then you get Sparkle Motion, which is that's what it's called, right?
The kids
You get Sparkle
dancing.
Motion, which is like a bunch of little girls doing like their little pop dance thing. And of course, the crowd goes crazy for that, and the judge goes crazy for that, and everybody loves them doing the Duran Duran song, Sparkle Motion. But then you see Drew Barrymore's character, and she's not like she hates them or anything, but she's kind of just like, like unimpressed, right?
Yeah.
She's more critical of it. She's like, this is kind of brainless. And so I think that, for example, this scene that on first watch, you might go, like, what's the point of this? This is stupid. Yeah. That scene, to me, is like the creatives trying to make a certain point about the different types of art there are and what is meaningful and what is less meaningful. Yeah. And something that's like kind of weird and like hard to understand, like Sharita's kind of weird interpretive dance, even though it's kind of weird, it might have more artistic value than something that looks pretty and looks more well put together, like the Sparkle Motion Duran Duran song, right? Yeah. Which is kind of interesting because it's allegorical to the film Donnie Darko.
Yeah, it's like the film itself, yeah.
It's the director is kind of trying to get ahead of the press by saying, like, hey, you might think that our film is kind of weird and hard to understand. It doesn't make that much sense, but it's got a lot more critical value than... What else came out in 2001? What's a bullshit movie that came out in 2001?
I mean, Lord of the Rings came out in 2001. But that's a great good movie.
Die Hard 4, maybe.
Probably. Some Die Hard bullshit.
Yeah, it's like maybe Die Hard 4 sold more tickets or whatever. Or, like...
Some action movie.
Some action movie. Fast and Furious came out in 2002, I think.
Yeah.
Probably sold a lot more tickets than Donnie Darko and was a lot prettier to watch or whatever. Maybe not prettier.
But Donnie Darko has more substance, for sure.
It's a lot more substance.
Yeah.
And I think that's really interesting. I only noticed that this most recent viewing.
Yeah.
Notice this point that the director's trying to make, kind of putting themselves in the shoes of Drew Barrymore, having her character kind of fill in for them.
Yeah, and I watched both the theatrical and director's cut, and there were some differences in the film. I don't know if this was in the director's cut and theatrical cut, but there was a point when Donnie, he was watching one of the fear videos, right? Like, don't succumb to fear. And then Frank, his voice comes in and he's like, don't miss this part. This is
that's
important.
The director's cut.
That's in director's cut only?
Yeah.
He was kind of like saying, don't miss this. This is actually important. Like, listen to what's happening. It's almost implying to the audience also, like, it's kind of on the nose, I would say, but it is. I do like what it's trying to say. It's like, pay attention. Like, yeah. Like, I know this might be weird, but pay attention.
That's cool.
Because, I mean, obviously, it's to help show Donnie that this guy is not who he seems to be. The don't succumb to the darkness guy, but it's also talking to the audience, saying like, look more into what's happening. Like, it's not just bullshit. Like, there's actually stuff going on. With that in mind, I will say, I don't love this movie like you do, but I do think this is still a very good movie.
My favorite movie.
It's your favorite movie.
There's a lot to be said about this movie.
Yeah.
One other thing I noticed this most recent time watching it is a sort of, I guess you could say, political commentary that they're making, right?
Yeah.
Which I never noticed before, because there is this kind of conflict between conservatism and liberalism presented in the film that I hadn't noticed. At the very least, I hadn't noticed as much in the past. Because you have a couple of teachers. Drew Barrymore's character, the English teacher. You have her boyfriend or her husband, who is a science teacher for Donnie. And then you have the gym teacher. I forget that character's name. Or she does like the health, and she does like the fear videos. Yeah. And her and like the principal and the what's his name, Jim, the pervert guy. Patrick Swayze plays that character, right? Okay. Doesn't he?
I have no idea.
Where's the box?
Just some dude.
Patrick Swayze. This is what the box looks like, by the way, for the 4K version. Put that down. Patrick Swayze plays the pervert guy. And anyways, so there's this kind of constant conflict between liberalism and conservatism, which is interesting. Yeah. It's really interesting the way that it's presented in the film. Because a lot of the more conservative, and I'm using these terms loosely here, because it's more so just about, I don't mean that necessarily politically, it's more so just about conservative and like the way that they hold ideas and values. And liberal in the way that they hold ideas and values, right? Mm-hmm. So when I say conservative and liberal, what I mean is the liberal characters are more like free thinking, and they're more critical in the way that they look at things. Whereas the conservative characters are more like, let's hold back, like abstinence, that sort of stuff, right? Yeah. The movie is deeply critical of conservatism.
I would say that.
So, for example, the gym teacher at one point, the gym teacher stands up and is basically like, hey, this what is this smut that we're showing the children, and we're reading this bad stuff. They're talking about The Destructors, a poem by, no, not a poem, a short story by, I think, Graham Greene.
Yeah.
Is that his name? I don't know. Let's say it's Graham Greene. It doesn't really matter. And she's like, this is bad, like, because in this book, this is a short story that the English teacher, Drew Barrymore's character, shows the class. And in the short story, a bunch of kids go to an old man's house and find a bunch of money stashed under his mattress, but they just trash the house and they like burn it down. And so Drew Barrymore's character asked the class why they would do that, why they would burn the house down. And none of the kids really know, and she asked Donnie finally, and Donnie says, well, because he's the only one who probably read the story, he says, well, they just wanted to see what would happen. It was their own form of expression, which is kind of interesting. And she really likes that answer. So the point that I'm getting at, anyways, the PE teacher kind of brainlessly thinks like this is derogatory, this is bad. She wants to burn it. Like, she's like a book burning. And the Drew Barrymore's character, who's at this parent-teacher conference, chimes in and she explains like the thought process behind the book, and it's Graham Greene, and
also Donnie's mom chimes in.
Donnie's mom, who's at the parent-teacher conference, chimes in, and she's like, this isn't like, we're not banning books here. This is the PTA. Like, leave it alone. At some point, the English teacher says, like, have you even heard of Graham Greene? Have you even read his book? And the PE teacher says, oh, we've all seen Bonanza, referring to a different Graham Greene, who was an actor, apparently, who's in a movie called Bonanza, which I didn't know that detail. I didn't know what Bonanza was before, but I looked it up. And so that's just illustrating how ignorant this teacher is, because she doesn't even know who the hell she's talking about. She doesn't know anything. Every time she's talking, she doesn't know anything. Then, like, when they find out the guy is a pervert, so the PE teacher is showing a bunch of videos made by this one guy. I think his name is Jim. Doesn't really matter. Who's Patrick Swayze's character. Showing videos from this guy. He's talking about fear and love as if that's the only things that exists on the emotional spectrum, which is, of course, very closed-minded. And later on in the film, and Donnie's very critical of this guy. He gets on stage and calls him, what does he call him? The Antichrist.
You're a fucking Antichrist, yeah.
He gets on the stage and he's like, I think you're the fucking Antichrist, which is great.
Yeah, I love that.
Donnie burns the guy's house down. They find out he's a pervert. And then the PE teacher, upon finding out this news, decides to, like, head his defense case and defend the guy because she believes that he's good somehow. Yeah. Even though they found all that, you know, cheese pizza in his house.
Yeah, I think that says, it's a really good way to say it, cheese pizza. But I think that says a lot about, like, morality and, like, I had something in my mind. It's gone.
I'm sorry, bro.
You said the cheese pizza.
It's really interesting. It's really interesting because she's so close-minded. She can't even believe that this guy that she likes could possibly be anything less than like the beacon of hope and morality of our country.
Exactly.
And like it's because of her, by the way, that Donnie's mom and his sister have to go on the plane because Sparkle Motion, the dance group, has to go on the plane to LA, and it's because of her ignorance and her idiocy that they have to get on the plane that eventually crashes, the plane that the jet engine comes off of.
Yeah,
it's because of her. It's because of her that they die.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting, or that you would presume that they die.
Yeah.
So, but even though she's like an ignorant fool the whole time, she doesn't get like punished at all because of the system that's in place. Because the principal is the man in charge, so he fires the English teacher, Drew Barrymore, and the science teacher. When Donnie's talking to the science teacher and he's talking to him about time travel and God and stuff, at some point the science teacher kind of just goes like, I can't talk about this with you anymore, Donnie. And Donnie's like, why? And the science teacher's like, I could be fired. I could lose my job. And he has to, and you can tell the science teacher really likes this conversation he's having with Donnie, because Donnie's a really bright kid. He's asking interesting questions, but he literally can't talk about this interesting stuff with this interesting kid, or he'll be fired.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
A lot of this film is about, as you said, authority, right? How warped authority really is. And I feel like we've talked about that.
Some of it. There's a lot of themes. Yeah. It's not like it's about one specific thing. You know?
Yeah. Very interesting. I love these concepts. I just wish the presentation of it all was better.
Do elaborate, John.
I think the biggest thing with me in film is not necessarily the themes. The themes are very good. But if the themes are sprinkled in a film that's, I feel like, not well executed or well presented, then I just go, okay, who cares, right? Like and to be honest, not to say this film was poorly presented, I just wish that there were certain choices that were made that were better.
Like what?
A big thing I noticed is that when it comes to tone, they would try to utilize this tone of humor and this very and mix it with this tone of atmospheric and serious. And I feel like these tones don't work necessarily fully well together. I feel like it has to do with the writing, a lot of it. Very silly writing, I would say. And then they would go to like Frank, which is like a very and that whole moment it's so interesting and it's so hypnotizing and engaging. But then it would go back to like kids talking at the high school, and it's just like it doesn't flow in my brain as well as it should have, right? And you might disagree, but that's just how I feel. And also I feel like when it comes to certain editing choices, like there's just some weird editing scenes. Like I think I've talked about the Tears for Fears montage.
He doesn't like that part.
I don't like that
part.
With
the school bus where it goes like that.
It just looks kind of weird. But I think it's mostly just the music choices and just certain editing choices they have. Like the concept of showing all the characters. Like that's the best way to describe this. The concepts that they're trying to show is so cool, right? It's such an interesting movie to think about. But then when you show the execution of it all, it's not as well made or well crafted as I want it to be.
I got a little comment. The reason I was like kind of smiling, laughing earlier is because you reminded me of our friend cuss words that. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll cuss words that. Because cuss words doesn't like Fiona Apple at all.
Okay.
And I asked him why doesn't he like Fiona Apple? He says like, to me, what the best qualities of music are. He's like, oh yeah, her lyrics are like all over the place. She changes her tempo a lot, and like her blah 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 blah. It's like he gives me the things that make her music the most interesting to me.
And you find what I said interesting.
It's funny to me because what John's talking about, how it jumps between the funny parts and the serious parts, and how that's confusing and hard to follow. It's like, yeah, that's the point, because that's Donnie's life. Because this is his movie, we're seeing this through his eyes, and his life is really confusing. And he's a confused kid. He says that a lot. Because he goes from having these terrible, awful, screaming visions to having to go to school the next day and act normal and just be a kid. And so it's supposed to be, as far as I'm concerned, like tumultuous and confusing and kind of weird, because it's a weird experience for a teenage kid like him to have to be dealing with these crazy serious things, and he's freaking out. He's getting haunted by this rabbit in his dreams and shit at night. And then he has to go to school and deal with some jackass kids who are making stupid remarks. And it's supposed to be like a back and forth between that, because that's kind of what it's like being a kid. It can also be allegorical for any kid. It doesn't have to be a kid who's like dealing with, an actual schizophrenic like vision. Not that I don't think Donnie's schizophrenic, by the way. Like you could be like a normal kid, and you are at school kind of having fun or kind of dealing with bullshit or having funny times. And you go home and maybe you have some tough shit to deal with at home, right?
Yeah.
And that can be confusing because you can't just be one thing or the other.
Yeah.
You have to go back and forth between these tough things.
That's true. And I guess the more I think about it, the more I realize like the clunkiness of it. It's kind of purposeful.
Everything's purposeful.
I feel like the film is more purposeful than I give it credit for. I just don't. There's just some scenes that just rub me the wrong way.
Yeah, that's fair. There's a lot of scenes with like the bully. Are you talking about the bully kids?
Not even that. Just like there was one scene where the girl, like he was in therapy, and she's doing the
woman.
Yeah, no. The Donnie's in therapy with the lady, and they're doing the hypnotherapy, and he just starts talking about sex and all that. And he just puts his hand down his pants.
You want to know why? Because he's like a 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid, and he hasn't gotten laid or had a girlfriend, and that's what he's thinking about. Because life is confusing, and when you're 18, you're just jumping between all these things, and
I get
his
that.
feelings are all up in the air.
It's weird. I just don't.
It is weird. Being a kid's weird. That's the point.
I get that, but you have to understand how
it's a very genuine film.
I agree. It's a good film. I just feel like it could have been better in certain aspects, which is fine.
It's fine for you to think that. I think that there's literally not one single thing they could have possibly done to make this film better.
I disagree.
I think if I was going to say, and I said this the other day, if there's anything they could have done to make this film better, maybe it would be changing some of the things the bullies say. But even then, that wouldn't make it better, because the weird, kind of evil, creepy things that the bullies say adds to the authenticity of the film. Because in real life, bullies say weird, evil, creepy things like that. They don't say like, "Huh, you dropped your shorts, dingus." No, they say like things that I'm not gonna say right now. They say bad things and creepy things because they're weird. And
there was this one guy who made a very racist remark. To the one chick.
Because that's how like high schoolers are. And it adds so like even the worst quality of the film, I wouldn't change because it adds to the authenticity of it all. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What I do like about the film, to talk about some of the things I do like, is the beginning. It's a very great start. It's just like very atmospheric, beautiful lighting of this, just like of Donnie waking up, and it essentially just like it's a very bizarre start. And he just wakes up and he's biking home. All right. I will say the theatrical cut uses probably the better music.
The Killing Moon song. That's why I've never watched the director's cut, because the director's cut uses a different song, and I just love the Killing Moon opening scene.
I feel like that's just the only kind of like one of the biggest changes was that song. Really? Most of everything else was like
20
different.
minutes of extra bullshit.
20? I thought it was 12.
You thought that, and you made that number up, and then I checked the box and I told you it was 20, and then you forgot that.
Minutes?
Yes,
that's crazy. Yeah. No, there's like some like editing choices in the director's cut of like waves and stuff like that. Like there's like a bunny rabbit that flashes on the screen. It's just weird shit.
I need to watch it.
It's interesting. I don't know which one works better. I feel like they both are equally give the same quality. You didn't finish the
director's cut, so you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how it ends, but
maybe in the director's cut, Donnie jerks off.
No, the ending is very similar.
You didn't watch the director's cut?
I watched the beginning. I watched the director's cut the first time. Like, as a 13-year-old. Oh. Because I remember the sugar pill scene. I remember there's a scene in the director's cut where the lady is like, well, I was feeding you sugar pills the whole time.
There's a lot of details to this. Because I could talk about I could talk about anything. I could talk about the therapist and how she's, like, using Donnie and stuff. There's so many things I could talk about.
Yeah, it's a very...
I could probably do 3 episodes on Donnie Darko.
That's crazy. I love that you love it so much. I wish I liked it more. I really do. But there's something about the atmosphere. There's something, not the atmosphere. There's something about the presentation. And I always go back to the presentation of it that I just dislike. But even with me saying that, I still don't even think it's a bad movie. I think it's a great movie. He gave it a
good number.
I think it's a great movie. I just want to emphasize this idea of if there's problems with it. You know?
Yeah.
But what's so interesting is the things I don't like. It seems like there are reasons that you do like it.
Basically any reason you give me that you don't like, there's a thing in my mind where like, well, okay, but that's an intentional choice that they made, and here's why it works for me, and here's why I like it.
And that's so cool about movies itself, is that movies that some people might fucking hate, I'm like, well, I like it because of that. Like, probably like, there's some people that hate Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
Because he's such a weird directing style and all that. I love him because of that.
Yeah.
Like the Grand Budapest Hotel. Love that movie. Some people hate it.
Yeah.
It's over there somewhere.
I think we're good.
But with this movie, like, I just wish that it was sharper in certain... I wish it was sharper and focused on certain things. I think I wrote down this idea of... It's the Grand Budapest, yeah.
I know it is.
But there's so many. I think I wrote down this idea that's like there's so many concepts that this film tries to go for, but it's unfocused. I feel like it's not as focused as it could have been. And you might disagree with me on that, but that's just how I feel.
It's unfocused.
Yeah, it tries to go for so much, and it just kind of doesn't try to hit those things as hard as it could.
It does hit a lot of notes.
It does hit so many.
A lot of notes at one time.
Yeah.
What would you say the movie is about?
It's about? The title, the titular character, Donnie Darko. It's about his life, right? But what in his life?
Good question. Probably his...
It talks about his mental health. It talks about his... I mean, kind of goes into his relationship.
I think what this movie about is not exactly destiny, but the choices we make in life and where they take us.
Yeah, fate.
I think maybe fate. I think if this movie is about one thing, the main theme of the movie that is pressed upon the most is that. Like I mentioned earlier, because Donnie flooded the school and stuck an axe. By the way, Donnie sticks an axe and a gigantic bronze bulldog. He has fucking powers. Don't at me.
Before we go into the powers thing, I will say, to reinforce that idea of fate, No,
I'll do powers later. I'm doing fate still.
Yeah. There's this great scene with the dad in the beginning of the film where they're laying in the couch, laying on the bed in the hotel.
Yes.
And he goes, he talks about Frankie.
Freddie.
No, it's Frankie.
Is it Frankie?
Also named Frank. He was talking about Frankie Fielder was the guy's name. He was talking about how that guy died, and he could have, and Donnie could have had that Frankie moment.
They talk about a kid they knew in high school who died on the way to prom.
Yeah, and essentially that.
And they also say that people in high school said that Frankie was doomed.
Yes.
Like he was doomed. He was doomed.
So that's just an interesting thing, and also his name was Frank, and there's a lot of Franks in the film.
There's one Frank in the film.
Well, there's also a Frank in the projector room. He's like, oh, this guy's name is Frank. There's several Franks in this character. There's several people named Frank, but the biggest one.
There's maybe three.
Maybe three.
Oh, you mean the kid? Yeah. I mean, he shows like a cartoon kid whose name is Frank.
Yeah.
And then there's the actual Frank, and then there's Frankie, the story kid. You only see one actual character named Frank.
But there's a lot of reinforcement of this idea of this person that might be all the same character.
Well,
I was thinking Frankie Fielder could metaphorically represent Frank the bunny, who's doomed. There's a lot to think about in process in this.
But then
film.
Donnie changes that
by shooting him.
No, Donnie changes that by saving Gretchen. He also saves Frank. Frank is no longer doomed to kill Gretchen because Donnie changes things. Donnie changes fate because the whole movie, every single thing that happens, things that Donnie does because of Frank. Because basically what happens is at the end, Donnie kills Frank, and then Frank the bunny rabbit, he's in a Halloween costume, goes back in time to lead Donnie along the right path. Because Donnie talks to the science teacher, and he's talking about God's path, and he's talking about following God's path. There's this scene with the things that come out of the chest that lead Donnie to the gun, right? The whole movie, Frank is trying to lead Donnie to the exact correct path to change the past, to change fate. So everything that Donnie does, every single thing that Donnie does, especially the things that Donnie does because of Frank, are leading him in the exact right place. Mm-hmm. He floods the school. Therefore, he meets Gretchen. He burns down the guy's house. Therefore, the guy becomes outed as a pedophile. The PE teacher defends him, and his mother and his sister get on the plane to go to LA, which that plane is the jet engine, right? Mm-hmm. And also because his mother and sister go on the plane to get LA, they have the party at the house. And because they have the party at the house, everybody's there at the house when Donnie decides they need to go to the thing. Like, it's because of
all these events.
All these events that they get to the exact place that they need to be. Frank gets him to the exact place he needs to be for him to die. And for Donnie to realize that he needs to change fate.
Yeah.
Just really interesting. There's the whole movie is about fate, and it's about predestiny, and it's about how the tiniest little choices spiral off and create inevitability, and how it's possible to change these things, and how you don't have to do these things. So, like, for example, when Donnie's talking to the gym or to the science teacher, and the science teacher and Donnie says, like, if you could know what was going to happen, could you change it? And the science teacher says that he's contradicting himself. He says, if you could know what would happen, it would no longer happen because it wouldn't be predetermined anymore. And then Donnie changes what would happen. He goes back in time. Now he knows what could happen and therefore can't change it. I think that could even be a part of why he dies at the end. You know, it all connects back to each other in a very, very interesting way. Everything ties back to each other. Everything. It's such an interesting movie.
Yeah.
They should write a book. They probably have written a book. I've probably written 1 million books about this movie.
Yeah.
I've read some of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree that this movie is, like, extremely well crafted in that way. They take this concept and they really figure out how to work it in a very interesting way. And I do think this film is going to get better the more I think about it and the more I watch it, right? But that being said, we should talk about, because we're all talking about how he changed fate, but how does he do that? Ashton has this theory, or it might not even be a theory, it's probably a fact, about how he has superpowers.
Donnie has powers. I'm not going to say superpowers. Donnie has fucking powers, okay? He definitely has powers. He has this vision of the school flooding. There's so much water coming out of the school. So much water. He has water powers. He made the water. That doesn't necessarily have to be used. The dog with the axe in it, Donnie definitely has powers. How do you get up there? First of all, how do you get up there, right? Second of all, the principal even says, like, isn't that like solid copper or bronze or whatever, solid bronze? Donnie powered that axe into the bronze. He has fucking powers. The fire. The portals. There's real portals in the movie. There's real portals and real time travel. Donnie has powers. He makes all these things happen with his mind powers. Okay? This is all mind power stuff. Oh, the whole movie was a dream. Well, that's boring. That'd be a really boring...
He's stupid.
Oh, the whole thing. Every single fucking movie you ever seen in your life, the whole thing was a dream because it's the easiest fan theory in the world.
Yeah.
There's no dreams. He's powers. It's powers, and it's great. They mention, the PE teacher mentions, the science teacher mentions, the science teacher mentions that the old woman, Roberta Sparrow, he says that she used to be a nun, and then one day she completely changed her entire life. Her entire life changed, and she wrote a book about time travel and became like a scientist or whatever, right? Which is strongly implying that the same thing happened to Roberta Sparrow, right? Where her whole life changed in one night, just like Donnie's, and maybe she went through all these events, and she discovered how to do time travel, just like Donnie did. And they went back in time, but instead of Donnie dying, she lived and wrote a book about it. And Donnie reads this book and discovers all the things she's written out in the book. And he discovers how to control these things. And you don't see any of that in the movie because it's more interesting if you don't see that in the movie. It's more interesting if you have the option for Donnie to be like a paranoid schizophrenic, which he's definitely not. He's definitely not. Oh, also, fun little detail. Mm-hmm. The writing under the bronze dog, like in the first act, like, oh, they made me do it.
Yeah.
And then later in the movie, you see Frank's handwriting on the board on the fridge, which they visit a lot. We visit the board on the fridge a lot. Like, going on Beer Run, it's the same handwriting. So Frank actually wrote it's kind of interesting.
They made me do it.
It's interesting that Frank actually wrote that. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. I never thought about that before. What does that imply? Frank is a corporeal form. It implies that Frank has a corporeal form, which further suggests or proves really that Donnie is not hallucinating any of this. This is all real. Anyways, Donnie, because the thing is, powers also makes it more interesting because Donnie taking the engine off of the airplane and sending it into the time portal to go back in time to save Gretchen is much more interesting than that. Like, what's the alternative that just happened to occur? Jet engines don't just fall off of planes. They don't just fall off. Especially, it makes it especially interesting because his mom and his sister are in that plane, so he has to willingly like sacrifice them, like let them die to save Gretchen, knowing that they'll be okay in the past, right? Mm-hmm. It's so much more interesting if you think of it as Donnie going up to that hillside where everything started to metaphorically tie back to the beginning of the film, because he's actually going all the way back to the beginning of the film, because he ends the film, or he ends that timeline where the film started. That's where he wakes up. And he sends that jet engine into the past to... That's what makes it so sad, to kill himself. This most recent time when I watched the movie, I cried once. And it was when Donnie was taking Gretchen up the mountain and looking down at his house with the time portal. That's when I cried, because I knew that Donnie was about to basically kill himself.
Yeah.
And I kind of was starting to understand what that meant, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's what he was doing. You could really argue that he killed himself to save Gretchen, which is very, it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But it's just, that's how much he cared about her, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He has powers. I mean, what else is there to say? There's also a whole website. I read the website several years ago when I first watched the movie. It's not a fan website. This is a real website that details some of the things that are supposed to be in the Roberta Sparrow book and how it proves that Donnie uses powers and how Donnie has powers.
Yeah. So if it was the director approved, it probably is true then. He has powers.
Yeah, I mean, everything is interpretive. You can interpret it as Donnie is a...
Schizo.
Yeah, he's not,
schizophrenic. I shouldn't say schizo.
The movie ended... I was so mean. The movie ended and John was like, man, it's interesting. Johnny's probably a schizo. And I was like, John, no! He has powers!
Yeah, he was just yelling at me. Like,
I was being mean.
Yeah. But, after all that, it's a very complicated film to wrap your head around. I really do feel like. And I like that it does that.
It's funny because it takes years to understand it. And not like, if I watched it 10 times a day, I'd probably understand it. But what I mean is like, you to come back to it. I understand it more and more each time. And when I watch it for the 20th time, 10 years from now, I'm gonna be the Donnie Darko god. We should talk about the Zealot, by the way.
He's gonna be Donnie Darko.
You remember the Zealot?
The Zealot.
The Zealot talk? John and I were talking about the end of the movie, and I was trying to explain all my perspectives on it, and I was like, John, these are facts. I was like, John, Donnie Darko is my religion, and I'm a fucking zealot. There's only one way to think about it. There's only one thing to believe in. It's mine, and mine's the total truth, nothing but the truth, totally the truth. Everything else is wrong, and I'll kill everybody else. I'll kill everybody else who doesn't believe me. I'm a Donnie Darko believer zealot. And that's the metaphor that I use to describe how I feel about Donnie Darko, because it was like I'm a Protestant and you're a Lutheran. I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Because you believe that one single scene means a little bit something different.
Yeah, I guess. It's not even that. It's just how scenes come together and build the whole film.
I think every point, I successfully, not necessarily successfully, but I definitely like...
You explained in great detail.
Counterpoints. I had good counterpoints to everything that John had to say.
I guess. I didn't really say that much. Mine is definitely subjective.
Mine is subjective.
Yeah,
but mine's more objective than John's.
Yeah, you have great examples of why you like the film. I have like half-assed examples of why I not dislike, but think the film is not as good.
He's more critical of the film than I am,
I guess. But when you talk, it's pretty much like, oh, there's some good reasons to like the film. And I like the film. I'll definitely rewatch this. I'm glad I own it, and I'm glad I have it and able to rewatch both versions at any point. It's a good film for sure. I just don't think it's perfect, you know?
I think it is.
You want to give ratings?
I give Donnie Darko an 11 out of 10.
11? I give it a 7 out of 10.
You didn't raise it?
No, it's a 7 still.
You didn't finish the director's cut.
It probably stay as a 7, even with the directors. But I think it's a strong 7, close to an 8. Once it clicks with me...
Give me a decimal, bro.
7.6, 7.7, 7.8. He's looking at me. 7.9. I think 7.8, 7.7, around there.
Choose one.
7.8.
Okay.
7.8. Mm-hmm. But once it clicks, once I watch it for like whatever, and I like that thing that itches my brain clicks and itches the brain, and I'll be like, okay, now I'm liking it. Now it's an 8, you know. Then I'll give it an 8. If something doesn't click in this next time and it goes, this is actually worse, it might be a 6. Who knows? But right now, I think a strong 7, close to an 8, is a great rating for it right now.
At least he doesn't hate it.
No, I don't hate it at all, by no means. I think it's great. I also want to talk about the Richard Kelly, the director. Right after Donnie Darko, he directed a film called Southland Tales, which came out like a few years afterwards, I think. And that film is a complete mess. I don't know if you know anything about it. And it reinforces these ideas that I have of like not understanding tone, right? This director, he tried to make like this, like, if I can remember anything about that film, it's like a dystopian movie where like rollerbladers or like people who are on rollerblades are like fucking trying to assassinate people. I don't even remember anything about the film, but it was just a mess. And it was trying to be funny, also trying to be serious, but it's like picture time, like the funny to seriousness, as if it was just like clunky as hell. Like there was no delicacy,
and there's no purpose to it.
Sure, yeah,
there might have been purpose. I haven't seen this.
The thing is, why I think is the director has great concepts is because Southland Tales, he made like 3 comic books about the story.
Oh yeah, he told me about that
before he wrote the movie.
Yeah, like
he has a high concept guy. He's a great ideas guy, but if he has a crew, I feel like if he had a crew that really like helped him hone in or lock in, he'll make a great movie. Donnie Darko, very independent film, right? He didn't have probably as much resources as he wanted to make the film. He probably just had a high concept and limitations, right? Limitations always helps a film.
He got Patrick Swayze.
I don't know how he did it, but maybe Patrick Swayze. I don't know, but it was more independent than Southland Tales. When Donnie Darko got successful, they were like, okay, you can make whatever you want, and then his mind went crazy, and then he made Southland Tales. you know, and just like you in the beginning of the film, the power went to his head, like how the power went to your head.
I took my pants off.
Yeah,
Richard Kelly took his metaphorical pants off.
yeah, he metaphorically took his pants off and took his underwear off and shit his pants.
He didn't shit anything. He took them all off. He shit his floor.
He shit the metaphorical pants that he didn't have on.
He shit his floor.
He shit on the floor, and I just think about that, and you know, I just think I don't know anymore.
You know what I think about?
What?
Use the decimal.
Sure, 7.8. 7.7. 7.78. 7.79. 7.79. Yeah. That's good enough for me. All right, let's move on.
You know what I'm thinking about?
What?
This guy's balls.
What about him? I got him.
I'm not thinking that deeply.
Just thinking about my balls. Here's the wall of eyes. This is the next thing we're talking about. Wall of eyes. We're already like an hour and 10 minutes in this thing.
We'll do some editing. Let's talk about Wall of Eyes.
Okay. So the Wall of Eyes is essentially a film or a album by The Smile, and it's a very interesting album. I'll get more into detail about the little nitty gritties, but to be told, this is an amazing album by the people who made the people from Radiohead.
A couple of the guys from Radiohead.
Thom Yorke and Jonny Greenwood.
That's right, along with their friend Tom Skinner.
Yeah. And I don't know much about Tom Skinner, but I know a lot about Jonny Greenwood. I want to talk about Jonny Greenwood for a second. He is actually a he composes film scores. One of my favorites from him being the collaborations of him and Paul Thomas Anderson, the director. He helped compose the film There Will Be Blood, as well as Phantom Thread. Oh my god, I'm burping. Two amazing films from Paul Thomas Anderson. He's probably composed other great films. Be careful.
Bro, you don't need to tell me to be careful, man, record.
But, yeah, I just want to talk about Jonny Greenwood, because I didn't realize Jonny Greenwood was in Radiohead, but that makes sense, because Paul Thomas Anderson has directed, like, music videos from Radiohead. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because everyone's involved, you know, collaborative. I really like the work from Jonny Greenwood, and listening to this, it's very different what he's done, but I love how he's showing everything off.
I'm really excited, bro.
It's great. I can't wait for Ashton to talk more about it with me.
I've left him in the woods here.
Yeah, I think I've said a good amount. I kind of went on a little tangent about Johnny.
Johnny. Hey, Johnny boy.
Yeah, the film, or not the film. The album is made by like three or not. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about anymore. The album is composed of like 8 tracks. You have 2 albums?
I do.
Why do you have 2 records?
I'll tell them why in a little bit.
Okay.
There's 8 songs on this album.
Yes.
The name of the album is Wall of Eyes. The first song is called Wall of Eyes. The second song is called Telharmonic. The third is Read the Room. And then Under Our Pillows. And then Friend of a Friend. And then I Quit. And then Bending Hectic. And then You Know Me. Exclamation point.
Yes.
8 songs, 45 minutes. This album came out in 2024, in January of 2024, and I believe it came out on January 26th of 2024.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. I was at this local record store with some of my friends on January 25th of 2024, hanging out, whatever, and it turns out that they were doing a premiere of a new album that day. I didn't know about this, and John hasn't heard the story before because I've been saving it. So we're hanging out, they're playing this music from this new album. I'm like, this sounds kind of interesting. And in fact, this sounds kind of familiar. I asked the guy, the owner of the store, what this is. And he tells me it's The Smile. And it's an offshoot of Radiohead, as we described earlier. And I'm kind of like, holy hell, what the hell? This is awesome. I've never heard of this before. So he's playing the album. He does this whole giveaway thing, which is cool. And I ended up winning the giveaway. So I have a lithograph of the album artwork on my wall without the text. So a really nice picture of the artwork on my wall. And I got a zine that I ended up giving to a friend, a poster of the interior artwork, which I just showed and we'll show on screen now, and a sticker and some other stuff. And then I ended up buying the album because it sounded really cool, which I don't do very often, like buying an album without listening to it. And so I got to listen to this album the day before it came out. the day before everyone else in the world because I bought the copy of it before it came out, which is really cool. And when I first listened to it, and when I was walking out of the store, by the way, that's when, as I was walking out of the store, was when the crazy part of Bending Hectic hit. The high notes. So imagine you are starting to walk out of a store and then you hear that and you kind of pause for a second and you're like, hold on, what's happening here? And you stay in the store for another minute.
Interesting. So they got near the end of the album.
Yes.
By that point.
I was there for quite a while. It was a really, really great moment. I'm really glad. And this album ended up being one of the highest. I have a list of my favorite records. I keep on Google spreadsheets. And this is at number 15 or 16. It's right below the Fiona Apple album that we talked about last week. And it ends up being super high. It's the most modern album that's up that high on my sheet. Most of the other albums on my sheet are from the 90s, maybe the 2000s, you know. Yeah. This is from last year. It's really high for the year it's in.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of this album. I've heard of this album quite a few.
I actually went with one of the very first times I met John and Carter, and actually the day that the two of them met, we were at Carter's house, and I played my favorite song from this album, "Read the Room," in Carter's living room, and said, "Hey, you guys should listen to this." John doesn't remember that, but that happened. You heard that song from me first, which is kind of funny. But he had also independently decided he wanted to listen to it before or maybe at some other point.
Yeah, I've heard of this album before. I don't know where, but I was like, this looks interesting. I've heard of it from Radiohead, so I was like, I'll give it a try. And then Ashton, at that same day, was like playing it, and I was like, is this the Smile Wall of Eyes? Like, I don't know if I said that to you, but I was like, this is something I was trying to like look up. Like, I queued it up, I think, on YouTube to listen to it, like, that night. Or that day. I mean, you were playing it.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, and then it became one of your favorites, and I'm like, and then you recommended it, and I was like, this is a perfect recommendation, because I've always wanted to listen to this album. And it's great. I don't know how else to say it, but other than it's great.
Beautiful album.
I love how, at first, the beginning of this album, Wall of Eyes is very calming. Very, very, almost like, I don't know if it's a ukulele that they play.
Something like that. The opening track, the title track, Wall of Eyes, is very soft and quiet. Even the following song, Tell Harmonic, is still pretty quiet. The themes, of course, maybe are heavier, more intense. You should really watch the music video, by the way, for Wall of Eyes. Okay. Because it's very interesting. Okay. I've only listened to it. And then, of course, eventually you get to songs like Read the Room. You get to, like, Teleharmonic. Or not, you get to Bending Hectic. Yeah. Which has a huge rock crescendo moment, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah. Like, it gets heavier the more it gets into the album.
Yeah, certainly.
But I just love that vibe that they offer. And the more I listen to when I always listen to albums like this, and I fall in love with albums like this, I go, this is my favorite. And then I go, no, wait, this one's my favorite.
When it comes to songs?
Yeah, songs. Like, I'll be like, the first song, Wall of Eyes, that was my favorite for a while.
And then you got to Read the Room.
And now, at this point, Read the Room is my favorite, like, as of right now. But in the next maybe the next week or two, maybe Bending Hectic, or...
Maybe Bending Hectic.
Who knows? Like,
right now, I'm really liking You Know Me.
You Know Me? Like, this is an album I'm going to be constantly listening to, and my favorites are going to change. That's how I know I love an album, when shit like that happens. Like, it happens with, like with Kendrick Lamar's album.
To Pimp a Butterfly?
That one, Mr. Morale. I mean, all of my favorite albums that I love. Rap Ferrara, the Purple Moonlight Pages, like that one, like they always change. That's how I know. That's like a litmus test. If I'm just like, this is good, then I'll just kind of like, whatever, listen to it. But if I'm like focused on songs and then I move to two different songs, that's how I know I love an album. Yeah. And it's happening with this one. And so, excuse me. I just think it's I love the concept, or not concept, I love the art style of the album too. It looks really cool. And that's the cool part of owning records, is the physical, right? I don't own records, but
Carter owns records.
Carter, my girlfriend, does own records.
Our producer,
Carter. But I own movies, right? I listen to albums. like on Spotify. So I don't really get the sensation of like looking at this record while listening to it, right? It's dope. Like just taking a look at it, I mean we already showed it on the screen.
We'll flash it on screen right
Yeah,
now.
it's like it's very I don't know how the fuck to like think about it.
It's very enigmatic.
Sure. And there's just eyeballs. I didn't even notice the eyeballs in the background until like recently. I mean like 5 minutes ago. But it's just crazy. It looks so cool.
The Smile has the same guy do all of their things. His name is, and I'll record me saying it there. His name is, he's done all of the artwork for all of their albums and all the stuff. For the newest album, for the first album, and he does a really good job on all their stuff. He's got a very unique style that he uses that I love.
Mm-hmm.
It's great in all of his stuff. You should look at some of his other artworks. They're great.
Yeah.
They did as the Smile calendar I wanted to get using a bunch of this guy's artwork. It was like $40 plus shipping from England, so I didn't get it. God damn, that would have been cool, man. I was fucking thinking about getting it.
Yeah. I was talking to Ashton about the lyrics. And, you know, sometimes we go, I didn't quite understand the lyrics. And I think Ashton has a great point of, like, it's not necessarily the lyrics. Even though lyrics do have meaning, it's his vocals themselves with the music to help build a better sense of harmony and atmosphere and all this stuff within the music. Like, how he sings, Read the Room. Like, my favorite right now. It's like, in the beginning, it's like, da-na-na. Like, it builds this thing.
Say that one line you like.
Like candy aerosol.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like the way he sings that. It's just so it like helps with the
atmosphere.
The atmosphere. You're so right. The atmosphere of the album. You're so right. Yes, of the album. It's crazy.
I could kiss you right now.
Don't. What?
That's so stupid.
What? You like to kiss stupid things?
What I said to John was, you're just really cute. You're like a little dog, you little stupid dog. Good job, buddy. I'm so sorry. What I said to John the other day, that he's referring to, is I said that in this album, I see Thom Yorke's vocals as more of another instrument than anything else. It's like his vocals are another instrument, just adding on to the ensemble that is before us, the orchestra. You know, they don't necessarily have to be. The lyrics certainly are meaningful in a lot of songs, but I told him, like, when I'm listening to this album, it's not the Fiona Apple album that I talked about the other day. A lot of it's about the meaning of the songs and stuff, and I love the instrumentation of it. This one is less about the lyrics for me. Some of them are like kind of interesting lyrics. They're all really interesting, but for me, I'm really focused on the instrumentation of this album. I really like the instrumentation. If this album was an instrumental album, I would still like it as much. That's not true, because Thom vocals Yorke.
Thom vocals Yorke.
Thom vocals Yorks are just as much of an instrument as the rest of the thing.
Yeah.
If you took that away, it would be a lesser album.
It would be different.
I guess I'll say this: if Thom Yorke was singing in a different language, it would still be just about as meaningful.
Yes. Sure.
There are some parts that it would be slightly less so, because certain parts would be less. You get some things like You Know Me, when he's saying, "Don't say you know me, don't say that I'm anything you see," whatever. Like that has some meaning you can perceive. And the song Bending Hectic, that's the easiest song to decipher because it's about a car crash. Like, understanding that it's about a car crash and what he's saying does add to the meaning of the song, right? Mm-hmm. But not so much as like Love Ridden, for example.
Yeah.
Is the point that I'm getting at.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about, let's talk about a couple specific songs.
Okay.
We already talked about the first three songs. Under Our Pillows.
I like that song too a lot. I like the way he sings it.
I like the way he says the word under your pillows.
Under pillows.
Let me look at the words real quick to remind me how it goes. But just they're all like a very atmospheric experience. Friend of a Friend, I think, is about like reactions to COVID and to lockdowns, something like that. Doesn't really matter. There's an interesting music video for Friend of a Friend with Thom Yorke performing this in front of a bunch of children who all have very authentic reactions. Most of them are like maybe not that interested. Mm-hmm. It's kind of an interesting video. And then there is I Quit. I don't know what the hell that song's about. I don't know what most of these songs are about, but they're all great. They just sound great. Let's talk about Bending Hectic. I feel like Bending Hectic is the one that I have the most to say about. John, do you know what Bending Hectic is about?
You've told me, a car crash.
It's about a car crash. Thom Yorke is well known for writing songs about car crashes. The first song on their seminal album, OK Computer, Airbag, is about a car crash. So is Lucky, from that same album. And you can make the argument that The Tourist could maybe be tied back to that. He has a lot of songs about car crashes because he had been in a car crash before that album. This song takes that idea to the next level because he builds up. It's an 8-minute song. It's 8 minutes and 4 seconds long. So it's building and building and building. And it gets to the chorus, and it kind of goes back down, and then he builds and builds and builds again, and then these strings come in, and they get louder and louder and more ear piercing for like 25, maybe 30 seconds. They're just building these strings. You're just building, all this tension's building, everything's building. You're getting chills down your spine, and suddenly everything collapses, and then this crazy strong guitar and the drums kick in, and it's just the music screaming at you like turn, and then he says I've got these slings, I've got these arrows, I've forced myself to, and he kind of almost screams the lyrics, turn, and the way that he says it, the way that he sings it is so powerful. He kind of just goes like, he says turn in such a powerful way.
Yeah.
Because it's him kind of gripping the wheel and getting out of this trance that he's been in. Because it's a very dreamy song up until that point. Mm-hmm. And he turns. And he doesn't go off the mountainside, the Italian mountainside. And it's just so powerful. It's really powerful. It gets me every time. It's really good.
Yeah. I agree with the idea that I just don't understand the lyrics. But...
You don't understand the lyrics?
I feel like I haven't had enough time to.
I'm changing down the gears. I'm slamming on the brakes. A vintage soft top from the 60s. We are coming to a bend now, skidding around a hairpin. A sheer drop down the Italian mountainside. Time is kind of frozen. You are gazing at the view, and I swear I'm seeing double.
Well, not necessarily with Teleharm or not with Bending Hectic, but with like other songs, like with what you said.
I'm letting go of the wheel. That's a good part. Who says, "I'm letting go of the wheel."
Yeah.
And then there's You Know Me, which I don't know what the hell that song's about either, but I've been listening to it more lately. It's the last song in the album. It comes right after Bending Hectic, so a lot of times it's kind of like we don't give it as much attention. It's still really good though.
I agree. I feel like this album is gonna grow on me even more the more I listen to it, especially with we had to listen to it for this podcast. So I kind of had to rush to listen to a lot of it. When I have no pressure to listen to it and just listen to it on my own, I'm gonna listen to it a lot. I get with the Fiona Apple, I kind of stopped listening to a little bit of it once after the podcast ended. This one is already
You didn't like Fiona Apple as much as this one?
I think I like this one more.
This one definitely is more. This one is more instrumentally captivating, and you could maybe even argue conceptually captivating. Just Fiona Apple's words. I'm a writer at heart. I'm a literary person at heart. So it's always going to be the words at the end of the day that get me.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree. But I don't know how to. I don't know. Do you want to give a rating to this?
You could. I give it an 11
out of
10.
An 11 out of 10. Wow. Okay.
If you check my spreadsheet thing, I probably gave it and it probably has a 10.86 if I had to guess.
So with this, I'm probably gonna give it a. I don't even know how to rate albums. I think I would give it a 9 out of 10. I think 9's good. It feels right.
People are gonna think I just give everything 11s.
Yeah, you give two things 11s.
This is a 10 out of 10 album. It's a 10.
I don't know yet. See, I don't know. Once I really listen to albums.
Yeah, to be fair though, I've had this album in my life for I guess a little more than a year, and John hasn't listened to it as much as me.
Once I listen to it more, it'll probably become a 10.
I've probably listened to this album 60 times.
Yeah.
But, I've had this album in my life just a little bit longer than when the pawn hits the conflicts. He thinks like a king when he knows.
We don't have to do this again. We don't gotta do this again. I would say when the pawn hits the conflict, when he thinks like a king. What if I did it?
That'd be pretty funny. You should do that someday. Just get me.
Yeah, we don't gotta do when the pawn hits the conflict.
I've done it. I did it in episode 1 and episode 2. Why don't I do it every episode?
No,
because people would hate that.
Yeah, people would hate that.
Yeah.
I give that album like an 8 or something like that.
John's just more critical. I mean, it's not even that he's more critical. I give albums 8s all the time. I just like this more than he does, and that's fine. See, I'm not mad about you not liking Fiona Apple as much as me, because at least you like it. Our friend, hates Fiona Apple he just does. I don't know why.
For no reason.
He has reasons. It's just the reasons that he hates Fiona Apple are the reasons that I love her.
Yeah, it's like how I dislike Donnie Darko.
You don't dislike Donnie Darko.
Is it right? I don't.
He's just trying to piss me off.
Yeah. Okay. That's about it for the art section. Anything else we gotta talk about? You watched Thunderbolts?
That's right. I watched Thunderbolts with John. It was great. I know we talked about it last episode. I just wanted to mention, now that I've seen it, it is great. And I'm not going to spoil it because we're going to do no spoilers on that one.
Why not? We can actually talk about spoilers now. We both know it.
Well, we talked about it last episode.
But I can reinforce things now if you want to talk about it.
It was really good. You should go see it. I know Sierra's going to watch this and she wants to see it.
Okay.
My sister. So I just, we're just...
Yeah, we don't have to talk about it, but it's good.
It was great. It was a great movie.
I actually gave it a 6 last time. I actually boosted it up to a 7.
To a 7? Yeah. I get Thunderbolts an 8 or a 9. Probably an 8.5. I don't know. I don't fucking care. It was great. It was great. It was the greatest. It was the best Marvel movie in like a couple of years maybe.
Yeah. The difference between this Thunderbolts and Donnie Darko is that Donnie Darko was closer to an 8. Thunderbolts was closer to a 6.
Yeah.
Both 7s.
Donnie Darko is a lot better than Thunderbolts.
I agree.
By at least.
But ratings are arbitrary. Who gives a shit?
That's true. It's about the feelings.
It's about the feelings. Yeah, but I feel like the numbers help with feelings, but like, at the end of the day, who cares?
We also went to Chipotle before.
Dude, that was the worst Chipotle experience ever.
I'm never going back.
Yeah, he was like, I was like, can I get queso on my burrito? And he's like, we don't got that. We don't got that. Please don't. You said please don't.
Did he say that?
No, but I wish.
And then I ate my food for. I was like, this isn't that good. I want queso.
Oh, that part, yeah.
So I went back and asked the guy like, hey, is there any way I could get queso on my thing now that you guys have it? And he was like, yeah. I was like, cool. So can I bring my bowl over here? And the dude was like, no. And I told Carla Search, she was like, yeah, no. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. You can't take someone's half-eaten food behind the counter. So he gave me a cup of queso and then charged me for it. Here's the thing. When you're making your bowl, adding queso costs $1.70. You know what this guy charged me for my little cup of queso? Tell him, John.
Like $3.50?
Yeah, $3.
It's crazy.
And it didn't even make the food all that much better.
Yeah. Dude, I hate fucking Chipotle.
We're never going back.
Chipotle, in terms of like, do you want chips and salsa with that or chips and queso? I'm like, yeah, I've done that before. Like the first time I was, yeah.
$3 for this little bitch ass thing? Dude, fucking suck my dick, bro.
Chips and queso is $7 or something like that. And I'm like, bro, what?
It's ridiculous.
And they give you like 4 chips and a fucking worm, half like chewed up worm.
Yeah.
And they give you like that much queso, like two scoops of queso. It's like enough for like one of the chips.
By the way, the reason that I have more than one copy of this record.
Oh, yeah.
This is the record I got from my local record store. It's an XL Recordings record, and XL Recordings is like notoriously bad at their pressings. So the first 2 songs on this record have minor pressing errors, minor little clicks and pops. The first 2 songs, Wild Vibes and Cell Harmonic. And then the rest of the record is beautiful. So I'm like, this sucks, because I'm listening to it and there's these clicks and pops I don't like. So I'm like, what am I going to do about this? And at some point, I decided I'll buy a CD which won't have any clicks and pops, and it won't sound great as good as the record, but I thought I could play the first 2 songs in the CD and then switch to the record.
Yeah.
I don't really do that. I keep this in my car now. And then at some point I bought this European version of the record. The discs are slightly different colors, which is how I know it's the European version. They're both blue, but they're slightly different shades of blue, which might not even show up on the camera. Here's the funny thing about the fucking European version, man. You wanna know what the funny thing about the fucking European version is?
What?
Guess which 2 songs... Okay, the first 2 songs on the European version sound great. They sound beautiful. There's no problems at all. The other 6 songs sound like shit.
Like cracks and pops and all that?
Yeah, and it gets worse it's kind of bearable on the first disc, and then it gets worse and worse as you go on side B.
That's crazy.
So I have these 2 records. One of them has the pressing error on the first 2 songs. The other has a pressing error on the last 6 songs. And maybe if it was just a side A, side B thing, I could switch from side A on this record to side B on that record. Nope. It's not. It's 2 songs on this and 6 songs on that. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
That's why I have a couple. And this thing's up for sale right now on my Discogs. You should buy it. I don't want it anymore, the European version. It sounds worse than the American version.
Interesting.
I don't need it. It's worth. I'm selling it for like $35. It's beautiful. I don't need 2 copies of the record though.
I agree.
And I also paid. I want my money back.
How much did you pay for it?
Not that.
We don't have to talk about it.
It was a normal amount of money. I paid a normal amount of money. I'm selling it for less than what I bought it for.
Okay. Other than that, Chipotle sucks. Fuck Chipotle.
I'm giving Chipotle. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go back to Chipotle though, like a little dog.
You are?
And be like,
Don't
burrito.
go to Qdoba.
I've never had Qdoba.
It's good.
Interesting.
Qdoba's good. I give Chipotle.
I give that experience a 3 out of 10.
I give it a 3. I give it a 2. Fuck it. I give Chipotle the restaurant a solid 4.9. They don't even deserve to be mediocre.
I give Chipotle as a restaurant a 7. But other than that,
that's what you gave Donnie. God, that's what you gave Donnie Darko, John.
Ow!
Lower your number.
Ow!
Raise Donnie Darko to 8 right now.
I can't. Don't you hit me.
Lower Chipotle.
Just fine. It's a 6. Out of 10.
All right.
Fucking punched me, bro. That hurt.
Okay.
I feel better. Don't you kiss it. Don't you kiss it.
Okay.
I think we're done here. It's late. I'm tired.
It's like midnight now.
Yeah, I'm tired. I gotta work 15 hours tomorrow.
It's 14.
I gotta work a fuck ton of hours tomorrow. I gotta work so many hours. I'm gonna be so fucking tired
I'm gonna
tomorrow.
go bowling tomorrow, bro.
Congratulations.
I'm excited. I gotta take her to work.
I'm so happy for you.
I'm gonna go bowling.
I'm gonna wake up and just be pissed off. Trying to put my clothes on. I'm gonna be putting my clothes on like, fuck this shit.
I'm gonna wake up, come up to your room, and like watch TV while you're at work working your ass. Actually, no, I have a thing tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be pissed off the whole time. And then by like halfway through the day, I'll be like, this is fine, I'm better. And then by the end of the day, I'm like extra pissed off because it's close to the end. I've been on my feet for several fucking hours. I gotta vent because my day tomorrow is gonna suck. I gotta feel it. Anyways, this is the end of the episode. Goodbye.
Thank you very much for watching. Oh, are you fucking kidding me, John?
What?
Goodbye?
Oh. Not goodbye. Fucking not goodbye.
John.
Oh, we're gonna do recommendations. Oh, I'm an idiot.
Dumbass.
Alright, next episode we're recommending a little film called Uptown Girls because there's a special guest for the next episode. It is producer Carter. She's laughing in the back.
Give me a phone. We're gonna do Carter Cam right now.
We're gonna do a Carter Cam.
Get your thing. Get your phone ready. Get your phone ready. And you're gonna do that thing again. And we're gonna have Carter Cam ready.
So the next episode is gonna be we're gonna recommend a film called Uptown Girls. Because we're gonna have a special guest. It's gonna be producer Carter. So hi, producer Carter.
Hi, producer Carter.
She's just knocked out. Yeah. I think it's a great episode. In that episode, we're gonna talk about not just Uptown Girls. We're gonna talk about girly pop genre as a whole. It's gonna be great. We're gonna talk about period. We're gonna talk about the whole shebang, and then we're gonna have our first special guest. Are we gonna have a recommendation for music?
We're absolutely gonna have a music recommendation.
What is it gonna be?
And you know what? I'm giving 2 recommendations because I don't fucking care. Because I don't fucking care. I don't give a shit. I'm giving 2 recommendations. Okay. What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it?
Not then.
Here's my first recommendation. My first recommendation is the album "This Desert Life" by Counting Crows.
Okay.
I've been listening to it more lately. I want to talk about it. We're doing that album.
Cool.
My second recommendation is a song.
Just a song.
Carter, what's the name of the song?
I'm gonna probably say it's Vienna by the Army of the Navy.
It's Vienna in Memoriam by the Army of the Navy.
Cool.
That's so good.
That's my song recommendation. Go listen to the song.
And the album. What's the album called?
The name of the album. Go ahead.
Fruit for Flies by the Army of the Navy.
That's the name of the EP or the album.
No. Well, the album of Counting Crows.
This Desert Life is the Counting Crows album.
This Desert Life. Okay.
Carter and I are going to talk about the Vienna song. We'll talk about that, and that'll be next episode.
And I'll talk with Carter and I. We'll talk about Uptown Girls plus other girly pop films. A little. If you want to watch any other girly pop films, we're probably gonna talk about like Legally Blonde, Clueless, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's gonna be an exciting episode. I'm excited. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. Ashton, get back here. We gotta end the episode.
We're gonna end the episode.
I can end it by myself?
No. I'm gonna end the episode with you.
He has no pants on. Oh, God damn it. We gotta keep this part in.
This part specifically.
Where are you?
Oh, right here.
Where are you, bro?
I'm right here, bro.
Where are you? Oh, we're zoomed all the way in. That's why. Hold on, I gotta zoom out. Okay.
Anyways, this is the Bingo Bongo podcast.
Thanks for watching episode 3.
Yep. Wait a minute. What's
We'll see you in the next one.
What the hell?
What the hell is even that? Bingo bongo out. Bingo.
Bongo.
Oh, and then I whip it out.
We're done.
I don't give a fuck. I'm successful. I got 10 likes. I don't care.
No, it's not.
I can do anything. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. I'm taking it out.
Don't take it out. Don't take it out.
Putting my pants on now.
Okay, we're done. Bye-bye. I'm so tired, guys.
Shit. Oh shit.
What?
Guess who has 11 likes?
No.
It's right there.
Yo. We gotta keep this part.
73 views and 11. I don't have enough fingers for this. John, give me a finger. 73 views. I need 10 hands. I need 7 hands. I need hands. This many and that many too. 11 likes. I'm going full. I don't give a fuck.
Don't you dare put your pants on. God damn.